I stopped by a cafe near my office for lunch, and as luck would have it, the only available seating was at the end of a communal table. No big deal. I sat at the very end, leaving 3 open seats. After placing my order, I sat quietly, enjoying the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the chatter of nearby patrons. As I dug into my meal, 2 friendly ladies approached and asked if they could sit at the vacant spaces next to me. I smiled and gestured for them to sit down. Moments later, 2 more people arrived, hoping to join their friends. Unfortunately, there was only 1 seat left, and it happened to be next to me. Without a second thought, they asked me to relocate so they could sit together. I politely declined, explaining that I had arrived first and had every right to sit where I pleased. The cafe was packed, and I was not about to move just to accommodate their seating preferences. The group of 4 began to grumble amongst themselves, calling me selfish for taking up too much space. I paid them no mind, focusing on my meal and enjoying the ambience. They stared at me, waiting for me to finish so they could have the table to themselves. But I had other plans. After finishing my meal, I ordered a coffee and took my time savoring it. Then, just to rub it in their faces, I ordered a slice of cake and indulged in every delicious bite. As I left the cafe, I couldn't help but smirk, satisfied that I had stood my ground and enjoyed my lunch to the fullest.
As someone with dwarfism, I'm used to getting a lot of attention in public, especially from kids. Some of them are curious and ask me why I'm so short, which is fine. I have a few rehearsed responses that usually satisfy their curiosity, but it's the parents who don't know how to handle the situation that drive me nuts. I've had parents pull their kids away from me, embarrassed and unsure of how to explain my condition. But then, there are the ones who use me to teach their kids a lesson. They'll point at me and say things like, "See what happens when you don't eat your vegetables? You end up like that man over there." It's humiliating and frustrating, not to mention insensitive. Just the other day, I was out in public and a young boy was acting out, clearly causing his mom some stress. She looked at me, and I braced myself for the worst. But instead of using me as an example of what not to do, she told her son that I was one of Santa's elves, and that I was keeping an eye on him to make sure he was behaving. I have to admit I was surprised. The little boy's name was Hunter, and his mom had written it on his backpack. So I decided to play along. "It's okay, Hunter," I said. "You're already on the nice list. And guess what? Santa told me that you're getting an iPad this Christmas." The look on Hunter's face was priceless. He was over the moon, but his mom, not so much. She gave me a look of disapproval and quickly ushered her son away.
I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to my roommates borrowing my things. It's all good as long as they replace what they use. I mean, if you take my milk, just buy me a new one, right? But my one roommate just didn't seem to get it. She kept taking my stuff and only occasionally replaced it. Even though she had more money than me, she still couldn't seem to replace what she took. It all came to a head one day when I needed to do laundry and discovered my washing powder box was empty. I don't care about fancy brands or anything, but she had been using my washing powder and not replacing it for weeks. I had had enough, so I hatched a plan. I bought a new box of washing powder and mixed in some Dylon machine dye. Then I put the new powder mix into the old box and waited. A week later, I came home from work to find her laundry hanging outside with a mysterious pink tint. She stormed up to me and demanded to know what I had done. I lied and said I was trying to dye my own clothes, and that someone had told me the shade would be lighter if I mixed it with powder. I then asked her why she used it, even though she knew it was mine, and I had repeatedly asked her not to use it if she wasn't going to replace it. I don't think she believed me, but she definitely got the message. She hardly ever takes my stuff now, and when she does, she's quick to replace it.
I remember my first job after college, working in a corporate office as a secretary. There were 2 other secretaries in the office, but I spent most of my time working with Agnes. She was quickly approaching retirement age, but seemed to have no intention of leaving without a big push. At the time, computers were still new to our office, and Agnes was struggling to adapt. She couldn't multitask and would use the computer as an excuse not to answer the phone. Her fussy and annoying nature made working with her a challenge. If I ever came back from lunch a few minutes late, she would loudly exclaim, "OMG, there you are. I was wondering what had happened to you," making sure everyone knew I was late. Ironically, she was often late coming in herself and left early for various appointments. Agnes was quick to quit her job whenever something didn't go her way, but our boss's boss would always talk her into staying. I had heard about this tactic of hers, and one day our boss did something that annoyed her, and she quit again. This time I saw my chance to get rid of her. Without my boss's boss in the office that day, I quickly planned a retirement party for Agnes. I spread the word, and soon everyone was congratulating her on her upcoming retirement. Agnes seemed to realize that it was too late to pull her usual antics and actually retired. I even advised my boss not to bother replacing her since her daily workload was minimal.
Please like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Thank you.